This is Lagos Talks 91.3.
My name is Kolawole Falodun. Without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome once again. We have a guest as well. As usual on the show, we bring in experts in human resource management and we try to, pick their brains and learn a few things, especially if you are a professional in HR. You want to listen attentively to this. And even if you're not a professional in HR, if you are a professional in the making, you want to listen to conversations on the office here on Lagos Talks 91.3. Our topic this evening is on sustainable people management practices for driving business transformation. And our guest this evening is powerfully with us. He joins us via Zoom. He's Vice President, TOP Foundation. He was born in the 60s, 66 precisely, July this month, in history. He is a distinguished lawyer, a law graduate from the University of Benin, and an alumnus of the prestigious Nigerian Law School in Victoria Island, Lagos. He was called to the Nigerian Bar Association as a solicitor and advocate of the Supreme Court of Nigeria in December 1989. He began his career in the legal unit of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Lagos, where he made significant contributions to the unit's operations, particularly in managing the staff housing loan scheme. His remarkable entrepreneurial spirit led him to establish a successful private practice. His dedication to professionalism is evident in his memberships in several professional bodies. I mentioned that he's a lawyer. He's a member of NIM, that's the Nigerian Institute of Management. He's also CIPM, is Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria, CIPM, and also Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria, CIPM Ikeja chapter. Also a member of NIPR, that's the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, and as the former chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Lagos State chapter. He achieved a lot of things, international recognition and the likes. He facilitated a memorandum of understanding between NIPR Lagos chapter and Peel Consulting in the UK. There's a lot to talk about him. We can go on and on and on. He's been on TV and radio stations. He's been on cable TV as well with over 1,000 media features. And here we are again with him featuring on a platform like this. He has written extensively on national development issues and served as a political observer and analyst. He's a rounded man. And I'm so blessed to get the chance to speak with distinguished personalities as him. He is none other than Mr. Jide Ologun. Mr. Jide, good to have you join us. Welcome. How are you today?
Thank you very much. I'm great, and I'm excited to be with you on the show.
I am as well. I trust your week has been smooth and the rains have not been of much disturbance to you.
Not at all. It's been awesome.
All right, fantastic. Let's get on with the conversation. We have very, very limited time. Our topic today is on sustainable people management practices for driving business transformation. It's a very, tricky period as far as the economy is concerned right now. But let's start with the definition of what this is all about. Let's define what sustainable people management means. What does it mean, and what does it mean to you? And also, how is it important for business transformation?
Thank you very much. When you talk about sustainability, it is the ability to maintain or support a process over time. And it's often broken into three core concepts. Talk about the economic, environmental, and the social aspect of it. And it is creating a balanced business model benefiting the current season and future generations. and it involves regeneration and renewal. So you need to bring in a lot of innovative engagement, so that, because what we say is that if you are not transforming, then you will be deformed. So if you want to remain relevant, you must keep evolving. And when you find organizations that are concerned with employee sustainability, they recognize the need to create environments where employees remain engaged, perform at a high level, and of course experience job satisfaction, job commitment, and cultural buy-in throughout the duration of their employment. Later in this discussion, I will share with you a case study, a very brilliant and global one for that matter. And you talk about business transformation. It involves making fundamental changes to the environment and sustain a very robust market share. So you realize that there are some organizations that have been in business for so many years, while some get out of the stage, they are still waxing stronger. And it's also in the ability to expand your scope and move with the trends, diversification. So, and that is why some organizations have business development departments and units. So basically, we can say it's a way of you staying afloat while others are sinking. And we say in HR that the human resource is the most important, because when you talk of resource in the broad sense, it refers to anything that enables you to work effectively. It can be money, but basically it's the employees. And I refer to the employees as the superstructure. Of course, human resource refers to a team of people who make up the workforce. And we also refer to them as human capital because of the knowledge and skills which the individuals in the team demand. And permit me to say this, that a dynamic human resource ensures efficient growth and sustainable development.
Okay. So let's get on to what the key things
that we have on.
Okay. I hope you're there with us. Are you there with us? I think the lines are a little choppy, but if you can hear us, Mr. Jide, are you there?
Yes, I'm with you.
All right. Okay, so I just want you to run us through key things to note when perhaps an entrepreneur is considering sustainable people management, or when an HR expert is contemplating on certain things like this that would appeal to a more sustainable way of managing people. What are the key things to note when putting that together?
Okay, let me start with the 5 P's of human resource model. You talk about philosophy that aligns with the organization's goals and objectives. You talk about strategic policies. And when you talk about strategy, you are talking about a long-term plan for success. You talk about productive programs, you talk about best practices, and of course, excellent performance in the workplace. And I have simplified this by picking out the word sustain, which is made up of 7 letters. So the S stands for strategy. The U stands for uprightness. Your business must be ethical for you to retain the best of hands and hearts. Then the 3rd one is S for sociability. And the 4th one is about transformation. You must be dynamic and have the ability not to sink with the shocks that visit businesses. And of course, you talk about attitude. You must have the upscale attitude. And you talk about innovation, because you must keep inventing. How business was done in 1960 is different from how it's done now. Then you talk about networking. And we also talk about the 5 sustainability competencies. You talk about the thinking competency. You talk about the future thinking competence. You talk about values thinking competence. We talk about strategies thinking competence, and you talk about interpersonal competence. So you must make your workplace a place that you have a productive and collaborative culture. And then time won't permit us to talk about the need for you to put very sound welfare in place to attract talents. And of course, run your business in line with the applicable laws of the land and have the future in mind and in all you do. And again, you talk about having a mindset of open communication. And you have to be resilient, but above all, you must ensure that the people you manage to help you run your business are on the same page with high level of inspiration so that they can give their best. Like I promised, later in the course of this discussion,
okay,
I will bring study, that we amplify that very well.
Okay, you're listening to 91.3 Lagos Talks. This is the office. We are here and speaking to a distinguished gentleman and someone who has a lot of years of experience in a lot of things involving law and, of course, human resource management. And his name is Mr. Jide Ologun. Okay, so let us talk about dynamics. In terms of organizations, of course, the roles are clearly stated and specified. The HR team is charged with ensuring that everyone is in line with what they're meant to be doing. And of course, there's an expectation that everyone is doing something that is in line with their personal objectives as well as the collective objectives of the organization. So roles could change at some points. Roles could evolve. But what's the role of people management in all of this? In the context of sustainability now, how do you marry these ideas and things together?
A wise man said that children don't lack capacity, they lack teachers. And that tells us straight that if you have a child and you bring 7 languages teachers to come and teach that child will grow up speaking all the 7 languages. So when you talk about dynamism, it's the ability to navigate, to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And John Quincy Adams said, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. And Jack Welch said that before you are a leader, success is all about growing yourself. When you become a leader, success is all about growing others. So when you have a team working with you in your business, you need to train them. Though in HR, some are afraid and scared that if we train them and they go, what happens? You see, that should not be your headache. If you don't train them, they will drain you. And right now, continuous learning and development is the key thing.
Let's take a look into your experiences so far over the years. What have you learned so far? What has your experience been like over the years in the bid to implement? Of course, we want to assume that you've had opportunity to work with organizations home and abroad towards projects like this or similar to this. So what has been your experience? What has been a common factor when it comes to challenges? What are the lessons you took from these experiences?
Thank you very much. You see, there is need for clear vision and strategy. Then you set measurable targets and timelines. Let me bring in this experience. I went into the central bank legal unit at the age of 23, and I looked at how the staff housing loan was handled, particularly traveling to check documents and things like that. And I felt at that age that the results should be better. So I was bold enough to go to the management meeting with my director to say, sir, we can change this system. And of course, it gave me the opportunity. And I had to engage the team to transform the status quo. And I can tell you it delivered a very brilliant improvement. And down the line, for people I work with, I don't want to hear this saying that, oh, this person cannot do it. God has created all of us great. So if you ignite that enthusiasm in them, they will get it done. You see, speaking on thriving in an age of continuous reinvention, Sam Abu, the country senior partner of PricewaterhouseCoopers Nigeria, and the regional senior partner West Market, gave an advice that to make your business viable within the short to long-term period, which is talking about sustainability, you have to adopt technology. So, and that is the place of training. Anything you know that we empower those who work with you to improve. Firstly, personally, there's what we call personal improvement plan. You see, when you put it into them that they are created to excel, you get the result. But when you just feel that, okay, just be going the way you are going is up to you. No, inspire them. There's this thing we say in leadership: you need advanced skills in active listening, open collaborative communication, effective conflict management, capacity to motivate and persuade. And I can tell you, I've met many in the course of my career in life that I have helped to come out of their comfort zone and engage great things in life. And like, I can also share my personal experience. After becoming a lawyer, my 14th year of law practice, I asked myself, is this all you can do? And my answer was no. So I had to go back to study public relations, and now I'm in HR and management and other ventures. And that also I have inspired others to embrace. And that is how to go. It's all about people. It's all about people putting the fire in them to express themselves and make things happen. And the moment you do that in any organization, you can be sure that your business will be sustained, because nobody can claim that the storms won't come in business. Even Dangote, that just built a very impressive refinery in Nigeria that's been applauded globally, is already, screaming that there are some external shocks coming his way. But with the people he has, if well managed, of course, he can weather that. So it's good for you to raise leaders. I say this: we can all succeed and excel in life. The success of another man does not threaten my own success. So in people management, you must open the space for people to be their best.
Yeah.
We talk about empathy, we talk about being collaborative. You create, you comprehend, you communicate, you collaborate, you confront issues. And if that is done, you can be sure that the future will definitely be brighter.
Okay. So in simple terms now, qualities. So for leaders who are listening right now and are about to get into this sort of drive, it's quite, I think at this point, it's not even negotiable. You have to begin to talk about sustainability if you want to really survive doing business post 2024 in 2024. But what are key qualities a leader championing this cause should possess? What are qualities in a nutshell? What do you think are characteristics that a leader should have if they are going to successfully champion such a cause?
I've mentioned some already, but coaching and mentoring is critical. And at this stage, for the sake of time, let me bring us to a frontline transformation and evolution business model of a British luxury car and later an aero engine manufacturing business. This business was established in 1904 in Manchester by a partnership that culminated into the registration in 1906, and they've been synonymous sustainably with quality training and apprenticeship, bringing out the best in those who work with them. Over 30% of the company's senior manager started at trainee level with the company, so you can imagine. And the business model and value chain is incredibly innovative. So you talk of innovation with the mindset that in order to maintain their level of success, training is essential. Training. And over 180 apprentices with 80% aged around 18 are added each year across 12 UK sites. And most of them remain and work for the company for the life of their career. So you see that there is no turnover. They can retain the talents and build their businesses. And please permit me to present to you Rolls-Royce Limited. And that is where they are the top brand globally. So if you want to study more, there are other organizations. You see, when you give people what they need to excel, they will excel. Okay. The account of Genesis chapter 41, when Joseph was brought before the king in his palace, Pharaoh, and he presented a blueprint to him on how to sustainably keep Egypt afloat against the oncoming famine. You saw what Pharaoh did to him. Pharaoh promoted him, gave him a sense of belonging, gave him an official quarters, gave him an official vehicle, even gave him an official wife. And you saw how that young man performed to build the king house. So when you are managing people, you have to ensure you get the best out of them. It's an investment. You have brought them together because you want them to, keep a business as an ongoing concern. So organizations that invest in sustainable people management will not only attract the best talent, but also will be happy doing business. So healthy and resilient employees working with you. And by so doing, they increase your company's income and things like that, and give you the right reputation out there, and be able to weather the storm that may come. And at the same time, help you realize your goals. And don't forget that when you talk about sustainability, you have the SDG, the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, that will be evaluated by year 2030, also called the 2030 Agenda, which means that business and people must connect with nature. If you want us to talk in the realm of public relations, we say that business has 5 pillars. We talk about survival, growth, profitability, employee satisfaction, and you talk about social corporate responsibilities. And when you find organizations that can drive the people, driving the business to connect people with the business and the society, you find them doing well. You can do more research about Rolls-Royce and other top-line organizations across the world. And I intentionally brought in a global case study so that we are not advertising. So
okay.
Issues when it comes to you know what our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ said when he was leaving. He said to his disciples, after grooming them and working with them and coaching them and preparing them for the ministry, that greater works than I did you will do, for I go to my Father. That is why you still see today that Christianity is waxing stronger. So don't be scared to empower the people in your team. You see, they are no threat to your relevance. In fact, your relevance is amplified by the number of persons you also assist to become great in life. So if you are thinking of sustainability, you still want to be relevant in years to come, you must learn to manage people, knowing that there are 3 levels of resource. You have the natural resources that are in abundance. You have the man-made resources that man makes out of natural resources, and you have the human resource, which is the team of people that we manage both.
Okay.
And that is why, for instance, in our country, we find that even though we discovered the natural resource of oil and gas in 1956, became a producer in 1958, Shell built, and the first refinery was commissioned in 1965. Today we are in poverty because there hasn't been sustainable management of people and the resources of the country to deliver commonwealth or common good. So, and these are what we need to, address our minds with.
Okay.
But never hurt, be dynamic in managing your human resource to get the best out of them.
All right, Mr. Jide, thank you so much indeed for your time. We look forward to having you at some other time. And your parting thoughts quickly, if you were to pretty much measure the success of sustainable management practices, from a people-centric position, what are the things that could be used as a measuring element to know how successful you're faring in that regard?
Thank you. We have top 5 ways. You have the employee surveys, you have the pulse surveys, you have the social network analysis, you have the performance metrics, you have the exit interviews, and all this will help you to approach understanding and improving employee engagement strategy and levels in your business. And when all is done, and you lock them up with your strong vision, you find yourself still floating while others are crashing.
All right, Mr. Jide, thank you so much. The office is proudly brought to you by the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria, CIPM, and Lagos Talks 91.3.